In today's class, I'd like to tell you a humorous story from the chapter Humor. Air reading is The Snake and the Mirror. The lesson was written by Vaikam Muhammad Bashir. Vaikam Muhammad Bashir. Before we are going to see the lesson, we should know about the author first. Let's look into the author. Vaikam Muhammad Bashir was born on 21st January 1908 and passed away 5th July 1994. He was a Malayalam fiction writer from the state of Kerala in India. He was a humanist, freedom fighter, novelist, and a short story writer. He is noted for his down-to-earth style of writing that made him equally popular among literary critics as well as the common man. He is regarded as one of the most successful and outstanding writers from India. Translations of his works into other languages have won him worldwide acclaim. The story The Snake and the Mirror was translated into English from Malayalam language. His noble works include Balya Karashaki, Shabdangal, Matilakal, and Anarga Nimsham. He was awarded the Padma Shri in 1982 for his great works. He is fondly remembered as the Baipur Sultan. This is about the writer. The lesson was translated by B. Abdul into English language. Let's get into the lesson, The Snake and the Mirror. Before I'm going to explain the lesson, I would like to ask you a few questions. Have you ever looked into the mirror and admire yourself? Or have you ever heard an animal looking into a mirror? And how do you feel when you look into the mirror, when you admire yourself? Or how an animal feel when it is looking into the mirror? We will see in this lesson. In this lesson, the main character is a homeopath doctor. One day, he said to his friends his experience, an adventurous experience with a humorous things. We will see. The Snake and the Mirror, written by Vaikam Muhammad Bashir. Has a snake ever coiled itself round and part of your body? A full-blooded cobra? All of us fell silent. The question came from the homeopath. Who asked these questions? Homeopath, the doctor. The homeopath doctor asked his friends whether the snake had ever coiled itself round and part their body, and that too a full-blooded. A full-blooded means a strong animal. Then the topic came up when we were discussing snakes. When the doctor and his friends discussing about these poisonous creatures, they talked about this. We listened attentively as the doctor continued with the tale. Tale means a story. Here we refers to the friends of the doctor. It was a hot summer night about 10 o'clock. The time was 10 o'clock in summer season. How it will be? I had my meal at the restaurant and returned to my room. The doctor had his meal at the restaurant, and he came back to his room because he was a bachelor. He was unmarried. Maybe because of that. I heard a noise from above as I opened the door. When he opened the door, he heard some noise. Yes, it was a hot summer night, about 10 o'clock, and he had his meal at the restaurant and returned to his home, the homeopathy doctor. And he heard a noise from above as he opened the door in his room. The sound was a familiar one. Familiar means well known from long or close association. What is this sound? One could say that rats and I shared the room. So the sound of rats. Here, the more rats living along with the doctor in that room. I took out my box of matches and lighted the kerosene lamp on the table. The doctor took out a matchbox from his box, because there is no electricity. By this we could understand in his room. So very poor condition, the doctor's position. I took out my box of matches and lighted the kerosene lamp on the table. The house was not electrified. There is no electricity in his house, so that he lit the lamp in his room. It was a small rented room. That too, it is a rented room. He used to pay rent for that room. And I had just set up medical practice and my earnings were meager. The doctor started a medical practice in that small room without any electricity. And his earnings, his income is very small, meager. Meager means small in quantity, small. His earnings, little amount. I had about 60 rupees in my suitcase. He had only 60 rupees in his suitcase, a little amount, along with some shirts and dhotis. Dhotis means a piece of garment which is used to tie around the waist up to the legs. And I also possessed one solitary black coat which I was then wearing. Solitary means single. He also had a single black coat which he was then wearing. I took off my black coat. Took off, a phrasal verb. Take off, remove. Remove a dress. He take off the black coat and white shirt. In the black coat he put on white shirt. That is also removed. And not so white vest and hung them up. Vest. The meaning of vest. What is the meaning of vest? A garment worn under a shirt. How it was not so white. It was maybe dirty. It was not cleaned. It might be. It was an outer room with one wall facing the open yard. He opened the two windows in the room because there is no electricity, there is no fan, there is no air. That is hot summer. Because of that, he opened the window doors, and it was an outer room with one wall facing the open yard. It had a tiled roof with long supporting gables. The meaning of gable. What is the meaning of gable? Long wooden bars supporting the roof. Long wooden bars. Okay, there was no ceiling for his roof. See how miserable condition. There was a regular traffic of rats to and from the beam. So every day the rats are moving here and there. I made my bed and pulled it close to the wall. The doctor made his bed and pulled to the close wall to get air. I lay down, but I could not sleep because there is no air. During summer season, generally nowadays the people switch on the air conditions. They used to live in air conditioned rooms, but here, though he is a doctor, he doesn't have any proper facilities. I lay down, but I could not sleep. I got up and went out to the veranda for a little air. So, because he went out for a little air, but the wind god seemed to have taken time off. So, there is no wind also outside. That is the situation the doctor facing in that night. I went back into the room and sat down on the chair. The doctor went back and went inside to his room and sat on his chair near the table. Yes, children. Here, the doctor went back to his room and sat down on the chair. The doctor opened the box beneath. Beneath means underneath the table and took out a book. What is that book? The book is the Materia Medica. It is a medical material which gives a knowledge of medicines. He opened it at the table. It refers to the book Materia Medica. At the table on which stood the lamp and a large mirror, a small comb lay beside the mirror. What are the things on the table here in his room? A lamp and the book and mirror and a small comb. And what did he do with them, we will see. One feels tempted to look into a mirror when it is near. Whenever we find a mirror in front of us, everyone will get a tempt to look into the mirror and to admire our beauty. Whether they are beautiful or handsome or not. Everyone wants to look into the mirror. And I took a look. The doctor took a look, had taken a look. In those days, I was a great admirer of beauty and I believed in making myself look handsome because he was a bachelor. So, generally, the bachelors, the unmarried people, they want to be so handsome. That too, he was a doctor. So, he wanted to maintain some beauty tips. I was unmarried and was a doctor. Because he was unmarried and he was a doctor, he wanted to maintain some beauty tips. I felt I had to take my presence felt. I picked up the comb and ran it through my hair and adjusted the parting so that it looked straight and neat. Then what did he do? He felt he had made his presence felt. He picked up a comb and with the comb he ran it through his hair and adjusted the parting. The meaning of parting is the separating area, separating hair. So he separated hair with the comb and looked straight and neat his hair. Again I heard that sound from above. The doctor heard the sound from his room from above. I took a close look at my face in the mirror and again the doctor had taken a close look to his mirror. I made an important decision. When he looked into the mirror, the doctor took an important decision. He took 3 decisions, important 3 decisions. What are the 3 decisions? You should listen carefully. I would shave daily and grow a thin moustache to look more handsome. The three decisions, the first decision is to look more handsome. He wanted to grow a thin moustache. Moustache means a hair grown on a man's upper lip. Hair grown on a man's upper lip. That is the first decision. And I was after all a bachelor and doctor, because he was a bachelor and a doctor. And I looked into the mirror and smiled. It was an attractive smile. The doctor looked into the mirror and he felt that it was an attractive smile. I made another earth-shaking decision. What was his earth-shaking decision? I would always keep that attractive smile on my face. So he would maintain the attractive smile on his face. Never get any angry or any dull face. He wanted to be a smiling face. That is earth-shaking decision which was taken by the doctor, the homeopath. To look more handsome. This decision also he had taken to look more handsome. And the third decision, what did he take? We will see. I was after all a bachelor and a doctor too on top of it. So why did he take this decision? Because he was a bachelor, an unmarried man, and also he was a doctor, so that he wanted to be a handsome person. Again came that noise from above. Again he heard the noise. I got up and lit a beedi and paced up and down the room. Then another lovely thought struck him. What is that lovely thought? I would marry. He wanted to marry. I would get married to a woman doctor who had plenty of money. What type of woman he wanted to marry? The woman who had a plenty of, a rich woman he wanted to marry. And a good medical practice. The woman should have a good medical practice. And she had to be fat. See what a funny decision he has taken. To marry a fat woman. Why did he want to marry a fat woman? We will see in the next class. Thank you.